Hey.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, CNBC News Radio, and NBC Sports. KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Podchaser, JioSawn, TV Live, Rumble, and more. About 28 other platforms. Why so many places? Because I am on a happy 88 mission. 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And so I bring you topics and guests. If you missed Layla Ali, world boxing champion, the youngest daughter of the great Muhammad Ali, you'll have to go to my YouTube channel. You get free all the time, all of my past 833 shows, but who's counting? Here on my 552nd consecutive week on the air. And I'm so glad that you're here. And it is Tuesday. My new co-host, she is Yarona Boster. She is a coach, a TEDx speaker. She does a lot of work in for people who've suffered loss, who are looking for some comfort in infertility solutions and loving, and you name it, she's got it. So please welcome back to my studio my new Tuesday co-host, Yarona Boster. And welcome back.
Good morning. I am wonderful.
Yay! Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. It's that
my
time
favorite
of
time
year.
of the it is my favorite na, 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 of the year. And I will be showing you on my Insta, Doc Balance, and other social media today. I danced last night I covered an opening for tree lighting in Long Beach. And so I was all decked up and I'm doing my dance moves again. So you'll have to tune into that. Thank you for the thumbs up. I don't know when that came in, but I do love seeing eyeballs roll into the studio. Those of you who are driving and listening to the AM FM, you'll be able to pull over, or when you get to your destination, just go to 3 different places. Facebook, Dr. Marissa, I'm told I am at my limit again, so you can just follow and you'll see the stream. LinkedIn, and of course, Love Central, which is my YouTube channel. Free subscribe there, and you'll get an alert every weekday morning at 8 a.m. for a show about hope and happiness. And we're going to start with breakfast, as we usually do, where I ask you to put in the chat, what are you grateful for? That's the top of the button. Dr. Wayne Dyer, beloved teacher who's on the other side, said 5. I say 8. I'm a recovering overachiever like my co-host. And we are going to go back and forth and say what we're grateful for. The only rule is it's got to be specific so that we can nail that high vibrating energy of gratitude. Yarona, why don't you start this morning?
Sure. It's so funny that you say overachiever, recovering overachiever. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm actually grateful that I'm not quite there yet.
All right. I am grateful that 88% of the time I can stop and smell the roses and taste the coffee.
I'm grateful for the memories that are brought back just by somebody else's words, because when you just said about stopping and smelling the roses, I pictured a moment where we literally pulled the car over with my mom on our way to the Grand Canyon so she could take a picture of a bee stopping on a rose.
Beautiful. I like your mom. I like your mom. My kids complain all the time. Mom, we just took a picture.
She was very good at those moments.
That's awesome. And we'll just give her a peace out, peace in, peace out. She's on the other side with Dr. Wayne Dyer, and we just know that she is smiling and loving all of us from the other side. All right. I am grateful that it's another beautiful morning after a rain here in Southern California. So whoever, did that song, And it never rains in Southern California is lying. Because it rains and it's a good thing because we need the rain. All right, your last gratitude for 4.
I am so grateful that you are in a singing mood because it is such the time of year for that. So beautiful. I tend to break out in song too at random moments. So
Yeah, you don't you sing as well?
I do. I
Yeah, so we're
do.
gonna have to try to find a duet here for the holidays.
Sure. Okay.
Uh, I'm grateful that actually every holiday season I've had a guest musical artist, and we do sing duets and solos. And so this year it will be no exception. I haven't confirmed with her, so I'm not going to say, but I look forward to showing off my favorite Christmas holiday songs. All right,
Mm.
and that's the top of the bun. Gratitude. The bottom of the bun is appreciation, and this I would ask you to do before bed because we seem to have a sleeplessness epidemic going on in America. And I believe that many people can't sleep because they either do this before bed, which is disaster scrolling, or they do disaster thinking. What haven't I finished? When is this going to be over? All the loss, who done me wrong, who I need to get revenge on tomorrow. So all of those kinds of thoughts, you will not fall asleep. So instead, I'd like you to focus on things that you like about yourself, which is a muscle that a lot of us, especially the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma, doesn't come easy. So we're working that muscle every morning with my gratitude sandwich for breakfast to help you muscle up in the self-approval aspect of life. So I will let you start again. What do you like about
Sure.
yourself?
I really appreciate that I have picked up some really amazing tools. And one of those tools is actually this little trick in going to bed, not just appreciating, but also telling your brain, I have a problem I need to solve, and actively thinking about the problem, not in a complaint mode, but actually saying, okay, this is a problem. I need to work it out. And that there is actually a neurologic trigger that when you sleep, it works on that problem. And I learned that and I started to, so now I appreciate that I can actually engage that mechanism to helping me solve problems in my
Interesting.
sleep. Yeah.
Interesting. We'll have to think about that one.
Yeah.
All
But
right. I appreciate that I am easy laugher. It doesn't take much. Laughter is my favorite sound in the world, and I'm an easy laugher.
I love that. I appreciate that I have learned how to talk in metaphors, and it tends to be such a beautiful universal language that seems to work for a lot of people.
I appreciate that I am an easy dancer, that I don't
Oh.
embarrass easy, or if I do embarrass easy, I hide it well. Yeah. Last appreciation.
I appreciate that I can let some things go when I need to.
Beautiful. I appreciate that I do not live in fear more than 88% of the time. And fear stands for me future events already ruined. So by living in fear, I would miss out on so much of life. So I make it a practice, and I have definitely ingrained that into my personality. All right, that's Breakfast with Dr. Marissa. Thank you for joining Yarona and I as we took a bite of it. And the Dr. Marissa Challenge is 30 days that you have breakfast with me, with or without me, because on the weekends I am not on the air, so you'll have to do it by yourself. But if you do, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way and have a great day, week, and month. All righty, here we go. Our series is love, loss, and living. And my co host is going to introduce the topic for today. I put it in the promo. The short version is got judgment, got empathy, and I'll let you describe and elaborate on what we're talking about today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, the biggest question is, why does it seem to come so easy to us to make snap judgments? And especially, in passing, in those passing moments in your life, you're going into a store, you're making these snap judgments back and forth. And a big question is, has the pandemic actually made us more critical and more judgmental? That's a really important question to address. And can we move away from judgment and turn that into empathy? This is a really important thing to do. But if I've learned anything, I've learned that if there's something you want, you just have to be able to seek the knowledge to figure out how to get there. We're going to teach you about
Sounds
that today.
great. Sounds great. So let's go to the reality part of it that I always like to do to show you that we're not here because we have all the answers, but we experience it ourselves. So just as a refresher, I know you mentioned this last week, but I think if you sum that little story up, it's a very real story, and it's and then I'll do my true confessions on how easy it is to judge and criticize. Go ahead.
Yeah. So definitely there was one moment where I was walking with my son to school, and there was another mom and son. And the son said to his mom, he noticed a friend, and his mom said, and he pointed that out to his mother, and she said, "I don't care." And I know that in that moment, before I was able to turn to empathy, I definitely judged her for having that response to her son. And it made me stop and pause and really think about how I could change that perspective.
Absolutely. And I have a tendency to want to give my opinion, whether I'm asked for it or not. Luckily, I have learned to keep those comments in my head, like, really, she's wearing that? Or, if you aren't consistent with that, you're going to have problems, blah, blah, blah. Or, how could they do that? Or can't they see themselves? Or really? And all of those get trapped up here before they come out the front door, which is good. But just to answer that first question, Yarona, why is it so easy to criticize? Why is it so easy to be judgmental? Why is it so easy to shake our heads and to click our tongues and to have that critical eye? And I'm going to defend humankind for a second, because I know that it is part of our humanness to see differences. That is a hardwired survival mechanism. If you think of the caveman era, you walk into an unfamiliar situation, you're not looking at things that are the same. You're looking at something that's different so you can assess the threat and react to it. Woolly mammoth, you don't want to go, oh, what's that? You want to go, woolly mammoth, yuck, bad, run, kill, right? That's the hardwired thing we do. And the tendency to see anything different as negative or bad or to be afraid of is hardwired. Now, last I saw, there are no woolly mammoths, but we've carried this critical gene with us so that, my best illustration is you walk by a microwave at work and you smell something and you don't like it, the smell, your first reaction is to say, oh, what is that? And, we need a rule in the workplace that you cannot bring anything non-traditional so that it doesn't smell up the entire workplace. So difference equals bad. Difference equals abhorrence. I'm not asking people to walk by the microwave and go, oh, I love it. I want to have it. That's, bullshit-talky, because that's not the truth. You're allowed to have your preferences. But the balanced approach I'm asking for differences is, oh, never smelt that before. I wonder what it is. Difference equals curiosity. Difference equals, let me see, no judgment. So that's the direction that we want to move as humankind, so that we're not having our knee jerk emphasis on jerk reaction. So
Yes.
that's my confession.
I love that confession. And do you want to know what I'm thinking about as far as say taking one step in the right direction?
Yes, please.
So one of the things that we do when we're making those judgments is we also are making these judgments about when we have a hard life or when we have something that's difficult for us and that we're in that moment of experiencing it. We look at others and are like, well, they clearly don't because they're smiling, or they clearly don't because they're acting very blasé, like the world is fine for them. Because we're also finding our resentment in that moment. Like, why am I having such a hard time and this person is not? So one of the things that we can do, so there's that judgment because something's different, but there's also that judgment because we're having difficulties and we're not seeing somebody else in active distress. So we feel this sense of isolation when that happens, and we kind of wrap that around ourselves with resentment. And it's a terrible cape to put on. So and I can give you an example of that, when my mom was dying, she had her kitchen remodeled right before everything kind of went to, as you say, shiitake. And I had these things left over from Home Depot and Lowe's, and I had to return them for her. And I was like, oh God, one little silly task to do, right? It was frustrating. So I left her in the house, and I'm like, I can't leave her for very long because she's very weak. And I didn't have aid at this time. So I was super stressed. I was in that hyper arousal state. And I was like, gotta get this done. Gotta get back to my mom. Gotta make sure everything's okay. Safety. And I get online to the return process at Home Depot, and I am standing there, and the cashier and the person in front of me are just chatting. They're just chatting. They're having a little conversation, and they finished up their interaction, but they're just talking, and I'm standing there, and I could feel the agitation just rising in me. And I get up there, and I almost started getting really angry. Now, I know a lot of people who do this, they start to yell like, oh, that took too long, da, 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 right? Luckily, I was able to calm my anger response, but I did say, I'm sorry, I'm so frustrated. I just need to do this fast. I need to get back to my mom. And I just blurted everything out. And I'm like, my mom's dying, da, 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 like, I just need to go. And I was freaking out. And she looked at me so kindly, and she smiled so sweetly. And she said, I totally understand. My father's dying of lung cancer. And in that moment, with the kindness that she did to me, not like, I get it too, lady, blah, blah, but with kindness, she opened my eyes to the awareness that just because somebody has a smile on their face doesn't mean everything's happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped me shift my perspective on the judgments, those snap judgments we make when we're in stress moments, when we're in our own personal bubble of stress, to not judge that other person. So it wasn't just about the difference between us, but it was about the stress I was experiencing. And I think that has a lot to do with what happened with the pandemic.
That's gold. That's gold, because we don't, in times of stress and hardship, we think that we are alone in that. that I think is so, and the isolation that comes, which a lot of people are still having issue with, or a challenge or an opportunity to heal from right now, is that, I'm I'm obviously not very shy, and I am an extrovert most of the time, but I've really tapped into this isolation and introvert side because of the pandemic. And I have to say, my learned isolation now is pretty strong. Like, I have to go, is it really worth going out? Do I really want somebody else's company? I've had my own and I like it for, couple 3 years. So I think that understanding, there's like a couple of practical applications of what you just said that I want to hit on. One is, you just don't know, so don't make assumptions. That, as assume is making an ash out of you and me. FCC rules. So the other one is, don't go to MSU University when you see someone. Don't make shiitake up about what you think they're going through or what you think they're not going through. And three, that, pain in life is mandatory. Everybody has some level of pain at some juncture in their life, but suffering is optional. Mm-hmm. So I think that, and I'll say this again, I believe from the bottom of my heart that pain in life is not something to be avoided. That pain in life is not something saying that we're being punished. Pain is not a bad thing in the sense that, yeah, it hurts. You don't like it. You wish it didn't happen. Whatever it is, health, death, abuse, whatever it is. But it always puts us in a position where we are uniquely chiseled into helping someone else through that pain.
So true. So true. And, something, even a further thought, is that when we feel isolated and we don't reach out to others because we feel like, I don't want to burden somebody, we get burdened by that pain and isolation ourselves. And that burden that we carry around with us becomes a grudge. And it's interesting.
Resentment.
Have you ever heard the term that resentment, it turns into resentment? And it's very interesting. I one time heard this term about, bearing a grudge, right? The bearer of the grudge is carrying the burden of it too. So when we can kind of take that off of our shoulders and we can assume we know nothing, we give ourselves the freedom to remove that resentment and remove that grudge and remove that frustration. And we open the doors to better communicate with people. I had a thing happen yesterday. So I'm having surgery next week. And
which is why we won't see her until January next year, so we can wish her happy holidays today. And don't forget, I want to hear about the Jewish faith and how they celebrate the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. So yesterday, while I was on a session, I got a call from the hospital and they left me a voicemail. I pick it up and I'm listening, and she's saying, "Oh, it's she doesn't say her name. She tells me she needs she's from Princeton Medical Center and she needs information for before my operation." She says, "You can call back," and she starts to say the number and it gets cut off. And I'm like, "Oh." So I call back. This is a very large hospital. I called the number that came up, but it was the general number. It wasn't the specific number. And I'm now playing pass Yarona around to different people. And I'm starting to get frustrated, and I can feel my frustration. And I'm like, okay, this is annoying. I just wanted to get back in touch with them to make sure I'm covered for everything I need to be dealing with. Okay, so as I'm passed around to yet another person and I'm on hold, I'm recognizing this frustration. So I'm like, okay, all right, take a breath. Okay. Now, when she picks up, I say to her, "I just need to tell you, I'm feeling very frustrated." I've just been passed around. And just voicing that I was frustrated, I was then able to tell her calmly what was going on. And what ended up happening is she desperately tried to help me, as opposed to getting annoyed that I lashed out at her. And I said, and she even acknowledged, she's like, usually by the time people pass them to me, I'm hearing like, what is happening? Why are you passing me around? I'm just being passed from
Mhm.
one person to another. I'm on hold for
Mhm.
20 minutes, da da da. Because we've let our frustration boil, but we haven't spoken our frustration. We haven't acknowledged it and accepted we are frustrated, and let the
Mhm.
other people hold that for us rather than fight us against it. So I allowed that to happen, and what ended up happening is I had a warrior for me who was working really hard on getting me to the right person, and it was so nice.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. I have I have had so many good customer service interactions because of that exact tool, where I can just feel it going somewhere that neither one of us want to go to. And so I'll say, with my kids, we have this saying called, can we start the day over again? And I am feeling that it would be good for us to start this call over again so that we both want the same thing, which is, resolution. And every time it has led that conversation in a great way. What would this world be like, Yarona, if every one of us, and I think the tool here is cutting people some slack, right? Giving people the benefit of the doubt that they mean well, we mean well, we all want the same thing. We all want to laugh and smile and get things resolved, and we all want the same thing, but you would never know it. The way that we strut around, it's amazing. I want to come back to something that you said that was really key, and that's resentment. And it is a human tendency to go from anger to resentment pretty quickly, especially if you're going to MSU University and making shiitake up about the situation. And so I say, drop out of MSU University. You don't need that grad course. And resentment, and I'm sure you were referring to this saying, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I don't know if you've heard that. That's actually from
No.
a 12-step program saying. And then my version of that, because you know how I love to make everything my own, is resentment is like, I don't want to look at you because I hate you so much that I'm going to poke out my eye so I can't see you anymore. Well, how ridiculous is that?
Mhm.
And then the worst part of it, usually the person that we have the resentment towards, you're not even on their radar.
No.
And it's so silly. So, do you really want to give that person the power of your focus and your attention that you'll never get those hours of resentment back? So that's why forgiveness for me is a gift for me. It has nothing to do with, I forgive you. I'm not going to resent you anymore because I'm the better person and I'm going to gift you that forgiveness. That's bull, because you're gonna fall flat on your face at some point. But I forgive simply because I deserve to have resentment free time on my hands. It's not
Yeah.
easy. It's not easy. You have to focus somewhere else. Law of attraction. Take your mind, take your attention. Use what I call the strategy of neglect. Just, focus on
Mhm.
something else. Focus on something
Yeah.
that makes you feel good. So that's the
Yeah.
tool. The
And
tool is
sometimes it's as simple as asking yourself, how is this resentment serving me?
mm,
Is it helping me in any way? We have to think about those things when we have something that angers us, when we have something that frustrates us, when we have something that causes us to feel resentment towards another. We have to ask, is this serving a purpose for us? Or is it detracting from the things that we want to concentrate on
Mhm.
and the things we
Mhm.
need to concentrate on in life? That is so critical. And I want to circle back around to something you said about the
Uh-huh.
cutting the slack, you know, cut the slack for other people. I feel like we could create a
Mhm.
metaphorical slack button in your mind where you're like, "Uh-oh, I'm starting to judge this person. I'm starting to make a snap call here. I'm gonna hit the Slack button and cut them some slack and recognize that I don't know anything about them. I
Mhm.
don't know
Mhm.
why they're smiling. I don't know why they're not meeting my eyes. I don't know why they're like grumbling to themselves. I don't know why they're choosing to sing to themselves off key and feel like the world should listen to that. I don't know why they're standing in front of me and walking so slowly that I cannot move my car around them. You know, who knows? You don't
Mhm.
know, and that is the point.
Yeah.
If there's information you don't have, making a judgment call in that moment doesn't serve you. And forming resentment towards that person for being in your way doesn't serve a purpose.
Yeah, I'm trying not to personalize that with driving. I it is that is the toughest one for me. When people cut me off, I'm like, really? And I have to sit on my hands. I have to like, "Ee." But I remind myself I've done it. I've unintentionally done it. I will do it again because I love driving fast. So I just have to, cut myself some slack, cut them some slack. And let's balance this out, because if it sounds like I'm saying don't feel mad or angry or resentful, I am not. It is so important, and we've talked about this before, that emotions are like a what do they call, dumb waiter,
Waiter.
smart waiter, right? So if you don't feel the resentment or the anger, then you will also not feel the happiness and peace and exhilaration. It closes your emotional door, so you're just left feeling fine. I'm fine. Fine stands for effed up, irrational, neurotic, and emotional. So we don't want that. We want to expand the ability. So how do you safely release judgment, criticism, resentment, anger, hostility? Because negative energy, I'm told, takes up more volume in our mind, body, spirit, and soul than positive energy. So you have to release. I teach Tai Chi, balanced Tai Chi Gong. There's this one form called polish your table, right? So polishing table says we're all born with a clean table, but through life we dirty it and have some film called resentment, anger, frustration, anxiety. And so you put that person, place, or thing that you have a resentment towards on the table. Take a deep breath in through the nose and you release it and polish the table. Now, don't put your mother on there because that's too big to start, but I do put drivers on there. And I ask you to repeat after me. So let's do this. I'm going to stand up,
Sure.
Yarona.
I am not, because I'm
That's
wearing
fine.
sweatpants.
That's fine. And Layla Ali did that too, by the way. She was good on the front on camera. So we're just going to do this, breathing in. All right. And do you have a situation in mind that
Uh,
irritates you, like pushes your buttons? I do.
well,
When my
mm,
kids come and it's just like they do what they did when they were teenagers, which is they'll open something and then leave the packaging there, or they'll forget to turn the lights off and all that. So
oh,
I am going to put that situation on my table. Do you have
I
one?
am
You don't.
gonna. Yes, I do. My
All right.
husband's so gonna laugh at this. Okay.
Okay.
I constantly tell him to close the curtain after he's showered because, like, I like to make sure that the liner gets dried, and it drives me insane that he forgets to do that. So I'm constantly walking into the bathroom after he's showered, and I'm like, phew, 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 you know? And
Yep,
like,
yep, yep.
he
All
can't
right.
remember a simple thing.
Yeah, the similar energy drives you to the moon in a California second. Ready? Repeat after me. Everybody does
Everybody does.
the very best that they can do.
The very best that they can do.
If they could do better,
If they could do better,
they would,
they would.
but they can't.
But they can't.
And I choose not to
And I choose not to
let their poop
let their poop
stay on my table of life.
stay on my table of life.
I can't change them.
I can't change them.
I can't change their behavior,
I cannot change their behavior.
but I can change my reaction to them
But I can change my reaction to them.
and focus on the things they do that I love.
And focus on the things they do that I love.
Another breath. One more. Polishing that off. And now we're going to go the other side. So usually we turn direction and we go counterclockwise. And as we continue to polish, we look down and see what Buddha calls our original face. And that is one of pure beauty, love, joy, wonder, happiness, and peace. The way we were made. Aren't we beautiful? And back to center. And taking your right arm, which is normally your fighting arm, closing it to show you come in peace, holding the peace, bring it down to your heart chakra, do a little bow and say, xie xie.
Xie xie.
That is Mandarin for thank you. I've adopted it as my Chinese namaste. So it's SHEA, not SHIT. So we say, xie xie. Thank you for sharing your energy with me.
Thank you.
You're
that was
welcome.
beautiful.
Thank you. And with that, let's go to have a quick break. If you've just tuned in, stay. We're going to continue talking about being judgmental, being critical, and the tool of empathy and how we can be our best selves to feel good and help others do the same during the holidays and more. We'll be right back with this special series called Love, Loss, and Living with my co-host, Yarona Boster and Dr. Marissa here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Welcome to Balanced Tai Chi Gong. My name is Dr. Marissa Pei. For the next 28 minutes, we will be slow dancing with the universe in a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Just follow the sound of my voice and move with me as I guide you through this ancient wisdom through New Thought practice. As a corporate psychologist, I created this practice in response to my life and those of my clients. We were professional, high achievement-oriented, multitasking control freaks and exhausted. No matter how many successes, it was never enough. That, coupled with a painful life experience, led me on a quest to find another way to live and back to my Chinese roots. If you practice regularly, I can promise you, that it will impact all health vortexes, body, mind, spirit, soul. You will be in a place of balance and inner peace the way we were created. 谢谢. Be my partner, dance with me, just hold on, I will.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and my YouTube channel, where you will find all my past shows, as well as my red carpet playlist with interviews with fascinating people like Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, The Temptations, Jimmy Fallon, and more. So go free subscribe there. And then you can also come and roll your eyeballs in as I see more people on the chat. Please do say hello and you'll get your name on the screen and contribute to today's topic, this special series called Love, Loss, and Living with my new co-host, Yarona Boster. And she's here before she goes in surgery. You'll see her back in the new year. She is a TEDx speaker, a coach certified in many different arenas. She's here sharing her experience and her knowledge around how we can be less judgmental, less judgmental, less critical, and more empathetic during the holidays and more. So welcome back, Yarona. Before we keep going, I didn't even realize it was already close to the end of the show. I did want to give a brief, we just did some balanced Tai Chi Gong. It's a beautiful present for Christmas. If you know anyone who has trouble meditating and sitting still, it's a moving meditation that you can get the download from my website. It's a donation of $20 to my nonprofit. So please go to drmarissa.life and you will get one of those. It also comes in DVD. I will give today, as the Asian Oprah giveaway, a download copy of the practice to the first person that goes to drmarissa.life and puts down holiday gift on the subject line, and I'll know I can get that back to you. All right. So tell me maybe your top two things that people want to remember when it comes to using empathy versus judgment.
I'd say the first thing is acknowledging how you're feeling in that moment, because if you cannot be aware of how you're feeling personally for yourself, all of those mixed bags of emotions that you were mentioning before, right? We don't try to minimize the feelings or put a cap on them. We actually need to look them in the face and say, ooh, I'm feeling like this. That is key. We cannot address a problem if we don't acknowledge it's there.
Yep.
Right. And then the next step is just to step into the feeling that you would want if you were on the other side. So I think about the person who was behind that cash register working her job, probably had many hours to go and couldn't even be with her father while he was dying. Whereas I get to be with my mom, or I got to be with my mom. And it's a really helpful tool. You know, maybe you're having to go run back to the grocery store to pick something up last minute that somebody forgot to bring for Christmas. And you're so frustrated and the stores are about to close and you're rushing in and you're going for the cranberry sauce or whatever it is that you're running for. And you're bringing it up to the cash register and there's somebody standing behind the cash register and you're holding on to that frustration and annoyance because, oh, the holidays are going to be ruined without this item. Meanwhile, that person is standing behind a cash register on Christmas Eve.
So the empathy in that really speaks to our ability to um, just chill a bit. I think that is like you're not the center of the world. Your life, their life matters just as much as yours. They may be going through something that is better or worse, or prettier or uglier, whatever it is. The idea that it's one world, the idea that, and this is something that's helped me with those things that are just like rush about, especially during the holidays. Everybody's like, oh, the traffic's worse and people are so mean and blah, 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 blah. And I have this little tool now. It's called #Naxcidental. So every single person, whether I'm in line with them, whether I buy something from them, whether I smile with them, whatever that interaction is, it is not accidental. Every single person that I have some kind of interaction with is going to be I'm going to ask, I wonder why I met them. I wonder why I'm talking to them. I wonder. And every single time it's a beautiful OMG, this person who knows this person, that 6 degrees of separation becomes 1 degree of separation. It was so funny last night when I was covering that event at the Long Beach Center with the tree lighting. This guy stopped and he goes, hey, don't you I think my wife knows you, ma'am. And I look over and she's looking at me weird and I'm looking at her weird. And then and I said, I am on NBC News Radio in the morning. He goes, oh my God, I knew you from somewhere. He's seen my show. He's seen me on camera. He sees me, on social. So it's so funny, but there's never an accident. I bumped into someone last night that I know of him. And, I had put an intention. I wanted to see the boat parade in Naples. And he just invited me to an open house to see the boat parade. And so nothing is accidental if we just connect ourselves and not take ourselves so seriously. We are not, the center of the universe. Everybody is the center of the universe, and we can have so much fun with each other if we just let it happen.
And I'll say 2 things to that too.
Yes, please.
You're not the center of the world, but you are the center for your world, which is understandable.
Yes.
But think about the ripple effect that you leave behind, right? Imagine if you're in that grocery store and you're frustrated and you're like, and you just give that person a smile and tell them, I hope that when you get to celebrate Christmas or when you get to celebrate your holidays, it's going to be awesome. And thank you so much for still being here and not closing. When you walk away, imagine you're leaving this trail that ripples out from you of this positive emotion that you've just handed off to that person, which eases the burden that they're carrying to have to stand there on Christmas Eve and maybe missing their family, maybe not getting to spend the last Christmas with a loved one. Maybe you don't know what's happening in their life. So leaving that beautiful ripple effect of joy and positivity for them means that they can carry and get through the next steps. And that interaction, even if it was 30 seconds, may help carry them through the next difficult hurdle that they have to go through.
Absolutely. That's the gift that keeps on giving. And I challenge all of you 2 things. One is, next time someone asks you how you are, instead of saying, I'm okay, I'm fine, or you don't want to know, say, I am happy, or I am blessed, or I am happy and blessed, or I am grateful, and watch people's reaction just to that. It's delightful and it keeps on giving. That particular response has had so many people stop, people who are at the register and go, Oh, I like that. And it just breaks into that beautiful realm of what we all share called humankind, emphasis on kind. And then if you want to do the advanced version of that, join my 21-day fast from complaining. Can you not complain for 21 days between now and Christmas Day? If you can, I will double your registration of $21 and give you $42 back. It's a donation again at my website, drmarissa.life. It is the holiday version, the holiday PPP, post-pandemic possibilities version of the fast. And you can register at my website. So that's my final word. Yarona, final word for today. And you can add on, what do you usually do? I know that Hanukkah is part of the Jewish faith. My mom was actually unofficially adopted by a Russian Jew. So I have an Uncle Moishi, an Aunt Ethel, Aunt Penny. I know how to hide the matzah. But I don't know why the color is blue. So put that in your wrap up so that I get my curiosity.
The blue is definitely a component of Israel because of the blue and white. So everything is that blue and white piece, right? But it's not necessarily only blue. In my house, we used to put all sorts of colors out there just to get as colorful as we could. But the holiday is actually the celebration of the miracle of light and the temple being destroyed and only having enough oil to last for one day that miraculously lasted for 8 days while they went to retrieve more oil. That's essentially what it is. But what I loved when I was little is when we were lighting the candles, we had cats, and one of our cats would sing while we were singing the blessings. She would stand there crying, singing. And I'm not sure if she was trying to tell us that our voices were not good. She was just trying to join hers in. But what I love now is that my husband and my son and I, we decorate for everything. We decorate for Christmas and for Hanukkah. But, every night of Hanukkah, we light our candles together. And last year he was 4. I gave him the responsibility of, with our assistants, holding the candle to light his very own menorah for the first time. It's a little hard when he's younger than that. But he sees the responsibility. And then the funniest thing is reminding him not to blow the candles out. So it's not a birthday candle.
That's adorable. And, I can remember when someone told me that Jewish people, when I was young, did not celebrate Christmas. I remember going, oh, that's so sad. They don't get presents with Santa. And then I was told, oh, no, we have 8 days of presents. Or is it 12 or 8?
It's 8 days. Although
it is 8 days.
My parents used to give me socks and underwear because they had to stretch it out. Depends on your budget.
Yeah. Well, isn't that interesting? 8, my lucky number. Good fortune in Chinese. My father was convinced. My Chinese dad was convinced that Jews and Chinese were actually, related somewhere down the line. So it's great. We have 1 minute left. So I want to wish you a very, very happy Hanukkah and good luck and best wishes and great health with your surgery. We'll welcome you back the first Tuesday or the second Tuesday. I think it's the second Tuesday in January with this new wonderful series. Thank you for all the thumbs up. We know that you're enjoying this. And I just wish you the very best, Yarona. Thank you for joining my crew and being part of this show.
Thank you for having me here, and happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays to you. Come on, you got to sing, man. You're the one that sings.
Yeah, but this isn't the one that I sing. I'm thinking about the songs that I sang. Now I'm blanking. And I used to be in choir where we had to sing all the holiday songs.
All right. And we're out of time. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from my loving room, wishing you the best day ever. Tune in tomorrow. My special series, Real Talk with Colette Tracy and Dr. Marissa, the bittersweet mood of the holidays, the pressures we feel to be merry, and it's why it's okay to experience both sides. That's what we're talking about tomorrow here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. Remember, it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Go have the best day ever.